Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. So let's start today's session. I think it's wonderful to see you all, joining in every day at the same time. So an elephant, when it takes bath in the water, after taking the bath, it comes out and then spreads all the sand and dust over its body all over again, right? Same is the condition of us, who are here in this material world. We commit the sins, we go take a dip in the holy Ganges and then do some sort of atonement, and then we commit the same sins again, right? So how to overcome this kind of situation? The best way is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because it will not only burn away all our sinful activities, but it will slowly elevate us to a transcendental platform which is above the three modes of material nature. So we will never commit those sins again, and it is guaranteed that it will work. So with that mood, I have Ashwin today with us, and he's a youngster, and I think I'm very, very excited to see people like him coming in and giving the Japa talk, because they are the future of Krishna consciousness. So Ashwin, please enlighten us with your Japa talk today and set the mood for chanting. You can unmute yourself and start.
Hare Krishna. While preparing for the Japa talk, I thought of doing something different, because every time all of us have been listening to the same story in different flavors. Just to spice things up a little, I thought let's compare the other sampradayas and what they have to say about the mantra meditation to our own. Now, there are a lot of sampradayas, but for simplicity, let's take the big three. They are the Advaita, the Vishishtha Advaita, and our own Dvaita, which is basically Brahma, Madhva, and Gaudiya. Now, let's take Advaitis. Advaitis are not Mayavadis. This is a very big misconception. I thought let's clear it up. Advaitis are not Mayavadis, and the most famous preceptor of Advaitis is Adi Shankaracharya. In his last book of Moha Mudgaram, in that he has the small excerpt which became very famous, and that is the Bhaja Govindam. And in Bhaja Govindam, there's this verse which says, Bhagavad Gita Kinchidhadhita, Bhagavad Gita Kinchidhadhita, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Sakrida Piyena Murari, Sakrida Piyena Murari Samacha, Sakrida Piyena Murari Samacha, Kriyate tasya yamena charcha, Kriyate tasya yamena charcha, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate. So he says, Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadhita. Even if you have read a small verse of Bhagavad Gita and tasted a drop of Ganga water, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Sakradapi Yena Murari. Even if you've thought of Murari, the threefold bending form of Krishna, even once, it says Ardhakshana, which means 1/16th of a second. If you think for the threefold bending form of Krishna, how should you think of him? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, by chanting Govinda. What will you get by doing Bhaja Govindam? Kriyate tasya yamenana charcha. You won't have a conversation with Yama yet again. So this is the final verse of Adi Shankaracharya. Now let's come to Vishishtadvaitam. The most prominent Acharya of Vishishtadvaita is Ramanujacharya. And in those days, like if you have to, get something from a guru, you have to go to him, serve him, and then if the guru is pleased with you, he'll bless you with a mantra and teach you its meaning. So Ramanujacharya thought, he'll go to this Acharya called Khoshti Purna. And Ramanujacharya travels from the Sri Rangam to Tirukoshtiur, which is basically a day's walk continuously. So Ramanujacharya goes to Tirukoshtiur, and then Goshtipurna says, come back later, not now. Why? Because Ramanujacharya said, I, Ramanujacharya, your servant, have come to learn something from you. And then Ramanujacharya goes back. And then this happens 17 times because Ramanujacharya has said the word I. And then when the 18th time, Ramanujacharya says, Ramanuja has come to serve you. He's dropped the I. Wherever there is mamata, there will be destruction. So then at the end, Goshtipurna, he says, I'll teach you this mantra, but be sure you're not telling this to anyone because it's a very sacred mantra. And Ramanujacharya says, yes. And then he learns the mantra and its meaning. Now, from the story we have heard, he goes up to the Gopuram and then he shouts the mantra aloud. That is completely wrong. Ramanujacharya never does that. Ramanujacharya goes up to the Gopuram and he says, whoever wants salvation, come to the Mantapam there. And then all the people who are interested in salvation go there, and Ramanujacharya seats them. He does mantropadesham. He whispers the mantra to their ears. Now, what is that mantra? It's Pranavam Namaha Narayanaya. Pranavam is the collection of the letters A, U, and Ma. You aren't supposed to say this word aloud because it's a very secretive word. You aren't supposed to say it aloud. If you have to address the word, it should be Pranavam. And to each individual, he taught the name and its meaning. So, and then he said, you have to chant this mantra slowly and think and contemplate about this mantra, which is very similar to our own. The mantra might be different, but the process is the same. Now, let's come back to our sampradaya. Now, if you were starting off with our sampradaya, what's the first book you're given? Bhagavad Gita. Now, the Charma Shlokam of the Bhagavad Gita says, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam praja. Surrender unto me. Now, this is where Bhagavad Gita ends, but that's when Bhagavatam starts. Bhagavatam is all about surrender. And the last verse of Bhagavatam is Hari, the Nama Sankirtanam. So Bhagavatam ends at Nama Sankirtanam. That's when Chaitanya Charitamrita picks up. It's all about Nama Sankirtanam and chanting. So now we see that all the three sampradayas are unanimously said that chanting is the best. So we should know that this is a very authentic and a practical process. The sooner we realize this, the better, but better late than never. So I hope we realize the importance of chanting and how authentic it is. And I hope I've improved your views on chanting for the better. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Beautiful, beautiful, Ashwin. I think we learned so much, within this span of 10 minutes. I think this was a great, great learning for each and every single participant who is present here. So thank you so much for such a beautiful talk. Now I'll share my screen, and then I would request Jashmita to perform, to chant the Panchtattva mantra. So please let me share the screen first, and then you can unmute yourself and start chanting. Yes, Jashmita, you can chant.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Shri Advaita Gadadhara,
Sri Advaita Gadadhara,
Shri Vasadi
Shri
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
प्रभु नित्यानंद
प्रभु नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
श्री अद्वैत गदातारा
श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद
श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद.
Thank you, Joshmita, and thank you, Ashwin, for such a wonderful talk today. We will continue to meet every day in the same manner. But before leaving, I would request, if it is possible, for all of you to turn on your videos. We will chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra one more time together.